Is that my precious?
Boy. Alright, whenever you're ready, boy. What is going
Go
on,
ahead.
guys? Double Trigger Gaming here, and today we are finally getting it in the review for The Last of Us Part 2 with my buddy Oruffryder that we've been finally supposed to do. Alright, so this boy's gonna hit it off with the topic that we're gonna be talking about: the gameplay, how the story went, etc. pretty much.
Yeah, we'll pretty much cover the gameplay, um, the story, characters, stuff like that. Then we'll break down with the hype for the game and any closing thoughts, pretty much. But actually, you know what? I do want to do the hype of the game first because I feel like that's only fitting to do that first.
Right.
So for me personally, I was excited for the game, but I wasn't like extremely hyped because I was more of a casual fan. I know there's people out there that love Last of Us. They love the series. They like I know people that got tattoos of fireflies on their arms. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they like the firefly symbol. They're really into
Right.
the game. So, but me coming in, I was like, okay, it's a cool series. I like it. I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel because the first one was so good. Um, but that's pretty much all I stood until I played the game. But we'll get into that in a second. But I want to touch on Wolf. How was your hype level for this game?
Dude, I was excited for this game, pretty much. But when you got later on in the game and kind of saw what happened to the main character from the first one, it kind of like ended it right there.
And did your hype?
Yeah, that's what it pretty much did.
Mm,
It ended the hype, and I was kind of more, I guess, upset would be the word for it.
mm. Kind of took away that excitement for the game overall. You feel like, or
I mean, not really. It's just that part that you can't really be able to play as the main character once, like the main character from the first one.
hmm
But I know everyone's been waiting to play as Ellie pretty much for the second part.
yeah, because I was probably one of the few people that actually enjoyed playing with Ellie in the original game. It was kind of a refreshing, you know, diversion from playing with Joel. Even though playing with Joel was like the funnest thing in the world because he's a complete badass, especially in the first game. You know, with all his weapons, his strength, and you know the abilities that he has when he fights and such. You know, it was really
But
exciting to play as him.
yeah, but when you play it as Joel, you can just sit there and do that 1-2 bink bink.
That's what I was about to say, boy. He got that Mike Tyson that he does to them boys. Then he stomp on their head and say "to there." So I like that. But I said it wrong. I say turtle. But yeah, man, like he's definitely a badass in that game, and so I knew because they were showing Ellie the whole time when they was promoting the second game. So I
Right?
knew that something was going to happen to the character. I knew. By the way, I don't. I mean, if you haven't played the game now, I mean, I'm sorry for y'all because me and Wolf, we probably gonna spoil some stuff. Because in order to talk about this game proper, we kind of gotta spoil some stuff. But hopefully, you guys played the game.
Yeah. And
But
how long has it been since it's been out? Like 2 weeks? Two and a half
yeah,
weeks at the most?
been about 2 weeks. Yeah, 2.5 weeks or so. So if y'all haven't played the game now, go play it.
Wait,
That's what I'm saying.
technically 3 because you finished it last week.
I finished it. No, like 2 days ago, boy.
2 days ago.
Yeah, I finished it like a few days ago. By the way, I'm about to hop into that plus mode, boy.
Hmm. But I heard that plus mode is going to make the game even harder with the difficulty you
Boy,
choose.
yeah, that's something I want to talk about. We'll talk about that last. That's a whole nother part.
Yeah.
But to get back to what we're saying, okay, we're gonna kind of jump into the story a little bit. Um, let's do story before we do gameplay because I think story is more important. Um, Overall, Wolf, did you like the story or did you pretty much hate it? Like, what's your opinion on
Mm,
it?
dude, I enjoyed the story, but when it got towards the end, I kind of see why people like was infuriated by it. And plus, if you remember right, Tommy pretty much pushed her to try and do it as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. I feel like for me, I enjoyed every minute of the story. I thought it was the most captivating, most edgy seat, most emotional gaming experience I've ever had in my entire life. Period. I have never played a story mode that was almost like a movie, dog. Like, I mean, of course, there's been story modes that's been have that movie as a quality to it, like Uncharted and stuff like that, which was made by Naughty Dog as well. But I've never been so immersed into a world before. When it comes to the characters, when it comes to the music during emotional and action moments, when it comes to the jump scares and the feeling of tension, because let's keep it real, this game is going to make you feel tense the entire time,
right?
Because you're in this world, right? And all these things are happening. You got to worry about so many different enemies, because I mean, for those of you that don't know, there's different factions within this apocalyptic world. It's part of the story. They got the Scars, which is a group. And then they have what are they called? The Wolves? That's the other group?
The WLF? Well, yeah. Wolves were pretty much it.
And then,
the Rattlers.
And then, the Rattlers, yeah, I forgot about them. And then, of course, the Infected, which has their own classes of strength, classes within them as well. So you have to worry about a lot. And I feel like the story really brings the whole world and makes it so breathable and so alive and so deep. And it's like you really feel like you connect with these characters. Now, let's keep it real. I'm going to be honest with everybody. Like, this game is going to make you upset because, like Wolf touched on, some major characters, they die. You know what I'm saying? They get killed. Right. And it's frustrating because you've carried so much emotion, from the previous game. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, if you remember right, Tommy got shot in the head pretty much, but how nor did he survive? Is what I want to know.
Plot hole, boy. I noticed that too. I was like, yo, I thought I was tripping. I said, did he get shot in the head? But the boy walking around like nothing's wrong. It's just his legs hurt. I said,
that leg, that boy got shot in the leg with that arrow, and that boy got shot in the head. Well, pretty much went through his eye, pretty much.
Boy, I'm telling you that was definitely a plot hole. They didn't mean to do that, or maybe they did. Like, I don't know what they were thinking, but that was definitely an issue with the story. But to be honest with you, besides the fact, the only bad thing I feel like the story had a situation was when the main character got killed in a kind of a dirty damn way. He could have went out. If I had no problem with him dying. Like, some people feel like he shouldn't have died at all. I feel like him dying kind of propelled the story, made it more emotional, made it more gritty, made you want to play through the events more because you were so fueled by the anger of what happened. Similar to how Ellie, the main character, was. You kind of identify with her. But I wish that his death was a little bit more respectable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he basically got Billy clubbed to death. I mean, let's keep it real. Literally, Billy clubbed to death. So, what do you think?
I mean, I kind of agree with you on that. And from what I was hearing from most of the reviews, people pretty much went to throw the game in the trash after they seen what happened to Joel.
Yeah. And I don't really think it was all that deep, to be honest with you. I mean, he was a great character, but characters die. I mean, people evolve, characters evolved. Like I know I heard one YouTuber say, oh, Ellie didn't act the same as she was in the first game. She wasn't sociable or bubbly. I was like, dude, do you realize she was a 14-year-old girl in that game? Like, she's like what, like almost 20 years old, 21 years old in this game. Like, a character is gonna change. Like, you're not the same person you were when you were 14 that you were when you're whatever age you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People change. And go ahead.
And plus, if y'all, well, if you paid attention to the story, you've seen what actually happened between her and Joel, which caused her to be pretty much antisocial with some people.
Right. Circumstances in her life has caused her to harden up. Her personality is not the same because of the events of her life. So I totally felt like that was acceptable, and I had no problem with that. And it gave you something fresh to explore with the character in this new game, you know? But overall, from beginning to end, I enjoyed the story for what it was. I would want to tweak a few things here and there, but overall, I appreciate it for the journey that was given in the game. I thought it was an amazing, and I thought it really touched me, and I'm sure it touched a lot of people.
Right.
There's one thing about the story. We got to talk about this. That this was probably the second biggest controversy was the fact that people didn't understand why they were forced to play with a character that had killed their favorite character. And for those of you know who I'm talking about Abby. Because you pretty much, I feel like, I don't know about you, Will, but I feel like you play her more than you play Ellie.
Right, yeah, that's what I was sitting there thinking about.
Am I tripping or what?
Dude, I feel like you play more as her, like, towards the end. Just to understand what actually happened to her side and pretty much how she got where she was.
Yeah, dude, you play her way too much. Again, it was nothing necessarily bad. I enjoyed playing her section. It was a good story.
Right.
You find out her motivations behind what she did, which is completely valid and understandable. You know what I'm saying? Her father was killed. You know what I'm saying? So you can understand where she's coming from. You know what I'm saying? But I think, and to be honest with you, correct me if I'm wrong, Wolf, but I feel like she was going through just as much stuff as Ellie was. Contemplating, all this, like she was kind of done with all the killing as well. She kind of wanted to, have a more peaceful life at the end, remember?
Right.
Kind of how Ellie was. She was trying to have that peaceful life too. So I think both characters were going through similar demons in their own hearts. And that it made them almost connected in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I liked. I liked that about how her greatest enemy was almost like looking in the mirror to a degree. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I enjoyed it. They could have shortened her part a little bit because in the back of my mind I was like, damn, when we gonna get back to Ellie, dog? Like,
yeah,
but
because this is mainly the main character.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I kind of wish they did shorten it a little bit, but then again, you kind of need to understand what she had went through as well.
Yeah, some people said they should have made Abby her own, like they should have made it like its own DLC and just played the whole game with Ellie. I could see that, but they decided to go this route. So you can find out the different perspectives for the different characters. But yeah, man, I thought the story was great. Anything else you want to touch on story wise, Wolf?
Yeah, and it would probably be like the ending, because I think after you get towards the ending and she kind of like loses it and this sits in the water, I think she finally realized that her and Abby pretty much are similar in some sort of ways.
Right.
So that kind of made me think that the reason why she let her go is because she finally realized it wasn't actually worth it.
Right. Because Abby didn't even want to put up a fight in the end. She was tired, man. She was tired of the vengeance and the violence, because You know, she didn't, and I think a part of the reason why Ellie didn't kill her is because Abby spared her life in the beginning, right?
Yeah, at least how many times? Like twice.
Yeah, so I think she's kind of like, you know what? Like, I beat your ass, I feel better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But yeah, man, I don't understand the hate that this game, because a lot of people do hate the story. I think the story was unique. I think it was good, and I think it did its job. I don't really care if the main characters died. Yeah, it sucks. You're like, damn, what the fuck? But that made you enjoy the story overall because it kept. Look at the reaction it got from you. Look at the reaction you got. You got pissed. You got upset. That's what a story is supposed to do. So I think the game did exactly what it's supposed to do.
Right, but I kind of feel like in the future they're probably gonna add like a DLC maybe to
I hope so, boy.
maybe like tell the earlier stories of how let's see, Abby pretty much got where she was. Like before she joined well, I mean they did a little bit in the story, like a little bit before the incident happened between Joel and her father.
Right. Do you one thing I really hope they do this is they make another game like you know how Uncharted 4 did the Uncharted Lost Legacy, like a whole nother disc?
Yeah.
I kind of hoping they'll do that for this game as well. Like a long, lengthy DLC type of thing. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But all right, so moving forward, so we're going to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about is the gameplay and how the gameplay works. Pretty much like the previous game, you're going to be doing a lot of crafting weapons, a lot of sneaking. Actually, I would say this game is more about that sneak, that stealth than the first game. I think they really encourage you because the game is harder. The game is 10 times harder than the first game. The sequel. The human enemies are way more intelligent. The AI is better.
Yeah, especially them scars, pretty much because from what I was hearing, if you put it on the hardest mode possible, the second you kill one of them, his partner is gonna know right away, and they're gonna alert everybody else around them.
Right. That's definitely true, man. I feel like the AI in this game is insane, especially like you said, the scars, because you know that's one of the groups in the game where they use whistling to communicate. And I remember hearing that for the first time. I was like, "What the fuck is that? Is that a new whistling clicker? Like what?" I took out all my guns, boy. I reloaded all my guns just in case, and I saw these hooded boys come out.
You know what made me jump scared so bad at first when I heard it?
Which one?
Boy, the second you got a little bit further in that forest, all you hear is a whistle of an arrow, and it got right in your shoulder.
Oh my god! And you gotta pull it out with the R1 button or something like that. Yo.
Yeah, boy.
I said, "Oh my god!"
The second I heard that whistling of that arrow and it hit, boy, I got like jump scared for a second. Boy. That actually happens.
Those scars, the wolves. I mean, they're more annoying because they have the dogs, you know. But those scars, they a problem. When they come around, ooh, you better guard your shit. Cause, you know, they're gonna purge you of sin, boy. That's what they always say when they try to kill you. They were like, yo, I'm about to purge your ass of that sin. And then that's when it's it. You know, and plus they torture people and all this. You'll see in the story, like they're crazy, man. But
yeah, but out of them and Rattlers,
the Rattlers.
I'd say the Seraphites are like the worst one for like torturing people.
So what is their official name? Are they the Seraphites or the Scars? I call them the Scars because I heard they was calling them that.
The official name is the Seraphites, but Scars are pretty much what the wolves call them.
Oh, okay.
If you remember, I'm trying to think of the kid's name, Lev, I think it is. Yeah. He'd rather them be called Seraphites.
Yeah. Yeah, they're Seraphites. I remember that now. Yeah, they very, very difficult. So you really gotta use stealth. Stealth will get you through this game.
Okay. Dude, Okay, before I forget, are we going to talk about that? Well, more enemies otherwise.
Yeah, we definitely going to get into the enemies because I was going to touch on. I just want to say one more thing about the stealth is basically the stealth will help you a lot in this game because one, you don't use your ammo too much. You just could do silent. Either with Ellie, you stab them with your blade, your switchblade, which you didn't have in the first game, and then
I mean, wait, technically you did have the switchblade in the first game when you played as Ellie, but it
oh, you
wasn't
did.
exactly like a shive, pretty much.
Oh, okay, okay. Cause and then so you
Because
got that in it.
if you remember, if you got caught by a clicker in the first one, you were pretty much dead. But in the second one, you at least have like a small chance of actually fighting,
Yeah, you can like
especially if
stab
you can
them real quick.
stealth.
Hmm. And I believe Abby just does what Joel used to do, was just choke him out and snap
Right?
his neck.
And like later on in the game, you actually pick up a couple of magazines, which no, you actually pick up a skill where you can actually make shives as well.
Yeah, which oh my god, yo, I had like so many of those in towards the end that I was able to just one hit kill people left and right. Um, but yeah, so stealth it'll get you a lot done. It takes a little bit more time, but you'll save so much ammo for like boss battles or like large groups that you might run into some trouble or emergency. So definitely good to use stealth. But I know you wanted to talk about the enemy types. Well, let's move on to the infected because we worked with the talked about the humans a lot.
Yeah,
Um, so the infected goes as I guess the weakest would be the runners, even though they are annoying.
especially in
But you know
large
the
groups.
yeah the runners they just come up and try to bink you like crazy.
Mm.
Um, then you got the clickers, which are creepy as hell, but they're not
But
as much of a problem. I feel like in this game. What you think about that?
I mean, dude, they're not really as bad as a problem like they were in the first one. But in this one, if you just sit there and think you're quiet, and they do that little clicking noise they do, where they
Yeah.
just pretty much scream, that kind of gets you jumpy a little bit because you think you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, because basically they're doing that. That's a new. By the way, there's a new thing they do, which they always do echolocation all the time, but they
Mm.
do an echolocation yell to like preen the area to see if you're there, and if you're there, that screen will pick it up. Because you know the clickers they can't see or nothing, so they'll hit you with that and then if they see you, they be like they'll come chase you and try to kill you. They're still one hit kill, I think, but I feel like they're a lot easier to kill now. I feel like it doesn't take that many bullets because it used to take like almost whole clip to kill them in the first game. In this
No, I
game,
think
not so
it's just
much.
like two shots with the sniper pretty much, and that's it.
Hmm. Maybe half a clip with if you have a regular 9mm handgun, and if you have it optimized, it'll take less. But the clickers, they're the famous enemy. And then the next one, which I had a huge problem with, was them stalkers.
Bull-
Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, them
Don't
fucking
get
stalkers.
don't get me started on them, boy. The second I
Boy,
seen them boys peek around that corner and say peekaboo, I know I'm in trouble.
boy, let's talk about one thing. Their most overpowered tactic. They
Boy,
cannot be found on the listening mode, boys. They cannot be. If you do listening mode, you'll see clickers, you'll see thicky thicks, you'll see everybody else, and then all of a sudden a stalker will just smack you in the back of your head and say, "Welcome to McDonald's."
boy,
They cannot be discovered. They are, and they move so fast, and they're always in packs too. They try to gang blank you in the
boy.
middle of a
When
fight.
I first seen them and they just ran off, I'm like, okay, they're not that major of a problem. But when I had gotten into
Oh,
that run room with them and I couldn't
yeah.
hear a thing or see them, I just see one of them peeking around the desk, be like, "You here yet?" I'm like, "Oh no, here we go."
This you idiot. Yo, the one thing about them is that I think everybody in this game is creepy, but they really creepy because they're on the verge. Stalkers are basically they're on the verge of turning into full blown clickers. They're like half runners, half clickers. So when they yell, it sounds like a clicker and a runner at the same time. It's so creepy. I can't really describe it. It's like, oh, like it's real. It's crazy. But they used to freak me out, especially the first time you see them. When you investigating that dead body, boy, and you turn in that hallway, and then he look at you and crawl away. Boy, I want to close that application.
Boy, I kind of did too when I first seen him. I'm like, oh no,
I don't want to go down this road. I don't want to go. Boy, you know what I do? Press that R2 button, load up all my guns.
Boy, that gave me like Resident Evil vibes when they did that though.
Boy, I didn't know Naughty Dog could bring the heat like that when it comes to scary games. I'm like, boy, they're making RE3 looking like Care Bears right now. You know what I'm saying? But they were an issue, and then I would say the next one will be a new enemy called the Shamblers, which are basically a bloater but deformed because something to do with the rain in Seattle or something like that. Let me tell you about these motherfuckers, man. They are one of the fastest enemies in the game. You think when they don't see you and they walk all slow, you think they some big, thick motherfuckers. When they see you, they take 2 steps and they're there saying hello. And they will smack you. They will break your back. They will bite a chunk out of your chest. They are a serious problem. And it takes a lot to kill them sometimes.
I really didn't find them that bad of a problem until you reached like the skyscraper or whatever when you played as Abby, because all you had was like the small railing pretty much. And when I had played that part, I couldn't even escape. I just kept dying. I'm like, you know what? The second I throw this Molotov and break that window, I'm gonna run in and hide.
I think it takes how many? 2 Molotovs to kill him if you hit him right.
I think it only takes the 1.
I know for me it took 2 because I hit 1 and he said, "So what?" And I hit another one. He said, "Oh, okay," and he died. Boy.
But I think it took like 2 shotgun shells to actually kill him, like one of them.
But they're just so creepy because they have that deep ass clicker voice, like bah! Like it's just disturbing, especially with the headsets on. And I don't know about y'all, but there was one part in the game, where I said I'm not going to do it. The reason why is because, one, I did not have enough ammo, and I regret it to this day because I know it was a locker down there, and I didn't get my trophy. I know the spot you know about, Wolf. I know you know what I'm talking about. That spot in Hillcrest at the liquor store, that little basement area where there's like 4 of them. Did you find that area?
I believe I did, and I think I got all of them.
I think you did because you got that trophy, I think. So I think you must have did it. But there was like 4 of them down there, boy, in a tight basement. Boy, I said, you know what? I'm going to live to fight another day, and I left. Cause it was way too many. But, yeah, you're right. They're not really a big problem.
Okay, I'm trying to think what else.
The last one, the final one.
Hold up, boy, we got 2 more.
What we got?
Boy, we got the bloaters and that big boy.
Oh, well, he don't really count though.
I mean, he is
one boy.
He is kind of infected, so.
Yeah, we got them. So we got them bloaters. They're pretty much overpowered in this game. They're a lot stronger because basically, I would say bloaters were kind of how the Shamblers were in the first game.
Right, but in this one, it takes a lot of ammo and a lot of patience to try and fight them.
And they're aggressive as all hell. If they roar at you, you better run because they will bake you into oblivion.
If you remember right in the first one, you can actually hide from them, but in this one, they pretty much will find you.
Yeah, I don't think you can hide from them at all. Like they just are able to find you at all times. Like it's crazy.
Right, and I'm sitting there hiding from one of them, and that boy say, you know what, I'm gonna charge and break this wall down.
That boy, a rhinoceros. He will charge and he will bink you. So it takes a lot of time to kill him, but they will go down eventually. They're just annoying to deal with, and they always have runners around them, which is annoying too.
Right.
Um, and then, like Wolf was saying, there's one more infected. It was a. It's interesting because this particular enemy, I don't know the name of it, but he might be the first.
I think the name of it is the Rat King.
The Rat King.
Yeah, I believe that's the official name for him.
Well, the interesting thing about this one is I think this is one of the first infected, because when you go to ground zero of the infection, which is the Seattle hospital, am I right?
Yeah.
That's where the outbreak first started, and this enemy is one of the first infected, and he's like locked in one of the hospital rooms, and he's basically a giant ball full of clickers in one body. And I kid you not, when I saw this thing, a little bit of pee-pee came out, because he scared the shit. I did not expect to fight nothing like no nemesis looking boy in this game. Like I was like, I had to pause the game and say, hold on, man, let me get myself together. Let me drink some water. Let me go to the bathroom. Let me take the trash out. I pretty much tried to avoid fighting this boy, and he was terrifying.
He was like the major problem of the game.
He was. It took a hot minute to kill him too. It took me 3 tries, boy, to kill that boy. He was a problem. And then he takes a piece of him comes off, and that piece becomes his own body. Like, it's crazy.
Boy,
like,
that piece was one of them stalkers.
It was a stalker?
Yeah, boy.
Boy. Yeah, once you beat the enemy, you have to fight like a piece of them that's left. Because I was like, why do I keep hearing like a clicker or some type of sound? I was like, is there a clicker on I didn't kill? And I look, and it's the little piece that he banging through this door and goes through this door. I said, oh no, time to close that application. I know he's going to be a problem. And then when you fight him, he is so annoying. That boy, I tried to punch that boy. He done grabbed my arm, pushed me back, and said, throw it again. That boy was a serious problem. But it was an awesome boss fight. It was just, it was terrifying, and it was also amazing at the same time. But I feel like that's it for the infected. So I feel like we can move on to, what else did I want to touch on? We did story, we did gameplay, we did the enemies. Well, how do you feel that this game? From a score of 1 to 10, Wolf, what would you give this game?
I would probably say a 9.
Why 9?
Because I know we didn't mention this when we talk about gameplay, because it kind of gave you like that Uncharted feeling, like they added in. Because I know they added in a few more things, like the prone, the swinging from ropes and climbing up walls. I kind of feel like they tried to give it like a little bit of an Uncharted feeling as well.
I agree. I don't think they really did that in the first game. Like, you couldn't jump up stuff like crazy, I don't think.
No, not all that much. It was like a rare opportunity, at least, in the first one.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely wanted to add more of that adventure-ish vibe to it. Make it a little bit more lighthearted, I think, to cover more of an audience, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But overall, man, I feel like that game was amazing, you know? And I give it a 10, me personally. I think it was a captivating. It was everything that you want in a video game. It had, you know, great gameplay. It had character development. It had suspension and tension, all that. And it really meshed really well with the overall package. So I gotta give it a 10. But yeah, I mean, I think that's about it. Any other thing you want to touch on?
No, I'd say that's about. Pretty much, we covered just about everything.
All right. Well, yeah, I definitely recommend.
Oh, boy, before I forget, the New Game Plus stuff.
Oh, yeah. So once you beat the game, you get an opportunity to play it again with all your weapons and what else? Like all your abilities too?
Yeah. everything's still there. The only thing is, once when you get into Seattle itself, then you'll have like all your guns back.
Hmm. And I gotta go back because I actually forgot to get one of. I guess people, my homies were telling me I gotta get a ring from the bank. So I definitely gotta go
Oh
back and get that
yeah,
trophy.
that
But
Uncharted ring.
yeah, so I gotta go back, pick that up, and boy, did you see them PS3s in them houses?
But yeah.
They had them Uncharted PS3.
Oh, before I forget as well, I know this is off topic, but I did go back into the first one as well, doing that the Left Behind DLC, and I managed to find an Uncharted costume.
Really?
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, I hated Left Behind, bro. I thought it was so boring. To be honest with you, we just go in that mall the whole time.
yeah.
But what was I about to say? Yeah, I definitely excited about playing the game plus mode because I think that you get a individual trophy for each plus mode you beat as well.
Right.
So I'm
And
excited to get it.
if I remember right, they did say when you do the new game plus, whatever mode you pick, it'll be like a little bit harder than that mode you pick.
Mm. Yeah, it's gonna be so normal mode. If you do it on normal plus, it's gonna be harder.
Hmm.
I'm doing it on hard plus, so it's gonna be a problem. But I figure I got all my weapons and stuff. I should be good.
Well, you better wait until
Uh,
you get all them upgrades for them guns.
Boy, I'm almost done. I've done almost upgraded everything. All I need to upgrade with Ellie, I think, is
That
the
SMG.
bow. Nah, the bow. And then with Abby, I gotta finish upgrading that. What's that assault rifle she got?
With
That assault rifle.
that Dragonoff looking one?
I think so. It's the machine gun that she gets. You know, the one on the. That's the one. I gotta upgrade that boy.
I'm trying to think machine gun.
She only had one machine gun. That one machine gun she be using in the game.
Like when you the one that you get from the pretty much the I
The
guess the
one you
settlement.
use. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
know
you
which one
use
you're
it for like
talking
the.
about.
Yeah, you use it most of the game. You get that. You get the what's the thing? The damn what? Crossbow, which is dope. That was a good weapon.
Yeah,
You get
I
you
definitely agree
get
on that.
the then you get the 9 millimeter. Then you get that double barrel boy, and then I think that's it for her. All the weapons, but I love that double barrel. I maxed that out first, boy. But and another thing that's off topic as well is that I like the fact that you can have alternative weapons. I mean, not weapons, alternative ammunition. That kind of reminds me of Tomb Raider because Tomb Raider kind of did that first. If y'all go back and play like Rise of the Tomb Raider or Shadow of Tomb Raider, you're able to have like alternate bullets like that were stronger. Yeah, they added that into this game where you have like like for example, you can have shotgun shells that burst your enemy into flames,
Boy,
and
that Dragon's Breath.
I think so. Yeah, for your shotgun. So I used to I made had the ability to make like a lot of those. So I would always craft those. And whenever I see any thicky thicks around me, I just put that in them and they dead. You know, but yeah, this game is phenomenal. They put so much detail into the animations, into uh, the voice acting, the fight scenes. It's just it's like this guy made this comment I was reading yesterday, basically saying that Last of Us 2 is such a high quality game, you kind of don't want to go back and play nothing else because you have such quality, and then you go back to some of these games where it looks like they was made in their mama's basement. So,
I mean, I can kind of agree with you on that. It is worth the playback,
mm,
especially the
yeah,
first one as well.
mm. I actually started playing the first one again. I'm in the process of playing like two games, boy, like that, and then RE3. I'm trying to go back and get these trophies, get these achievements, and that's what I like about these single player games. They're giving you the ability to replay them again and again to get more weapons, more cool stuff. So I definitely appreciate the developers doing that, especially for The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like they would have, if they were to add that DLC, they could probably do a little bit more with that as well, along maybe with an update for the game itself as well.
Mm. One thing I want to say is, what do you think? Do you think there'll be a DLC for this game? Do you think they'll just leave it alone? Do you
I
think there's
mean,
another story to tell?
I kind of feel like there would be like another story somewhere along the lines to tell because if they pretty much done it with the first one, like I
Hmm.
guess I'm trying to think after when Joel pretty much gets impaled, and
Hmm.
then Ellie pretty much has like flashbacks of her and her best friend before, like when she first got bitten.
Right. Right.
If
Right.
anything, I kind of feel like I know this is probably not the character and might not do like if they decide to do a DLC though, they might try and do Xena to actually tell the story of what happened after Ellie
Hmm.
leaves. They go back to Abby again.
Right. Right.
I kind of feel like they would do that.
I can see that. I can see them using Abby a lot more. I just feel like that's a character they can just keep going. With her protecting Lev and all that. So
Right? But I think they pretty much like overused her just a little bit.
they did. I feel like I want to, like I just said, I feel like they should have put Ellie in more because that's what most people are excited of to, play as more than big muscle bound Abby.
Okay, like one more thing now that I just thought about the pretty much hours it took just for the whole game.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now I know people were saying it was a well, IGN was saying it was about what 24 to 43 hours,
That's what I heard. But for
but
me, I mean, it depends on the person.
right, well that was what they pretty much recommend. Well, not recommended, said it would be.
Uh-huh.
But when I had went back and look on the first game, it was pretty much only like 18 hours for me, and I completed it like a week after it was released.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did it really fast. I remember.
but
For me,
act
I don't understand how you was able to do that, to be honest with you.
all there was this load checkpoint. Well, go to load game, and it should have told you.
Hmm.
But the reason why well, the original time I had was like 17 hours and 30 minutes, but I kind of like ran through the last bit of it because I didn't want to deal with the enemies.
Oh, you just ran through?
Well, pretty much sneak through the few parts of it towards the end.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, but if I actually sat down and fought all of the enemies, it probably would have been an actual 18 hours.
Now, let me ask you, did you explore all the areas to get like the extra weapon perks, the manuals, and all that as well, or no?
Well, I got all the manuals, but the extra weapon parts, like what you got with your revolver, the longer barrel, that I don't know where that's at.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
but definitely need to go back and explore more.
there's a lot to explore, dude. That's why I was really surprised how quick you was able to beat the game because I checked my time when I left. I was clocking at about 35, 36 hours. It took me to beat that game. And I still, obviously, I still didn't even do everything. Like, I missed that basement area with the shamblers and I didn't get the ring. So there's still places that I missed, but I took my time to the slowest possible speed and I looked everywhere because I wanted to get all the training manuals, all the lockers, because I really wanted to be strapped when I fought somebody that was a problem. So
Yeah,
I really
but
took my time.
I know that you really took your time into the game, but at some point you were gonna run into everything except for like the enhancements for the guns.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
only
like
thing that was a problem like out the way was probably the flamethrower.
Yeah, wasn't the flamethrower right in front of you though?
It was more like off to the side in a hidden area.
Oh, because I got for me like I saw it pretty clearly in that it was like on a desk or something like that. But I was trying to. I also what took me a lot of time is I don't know about you, but I was trying to find the workbenches as well so I can upgrade my weapons. I really wanted to find as many as I could, and also realizing that there was a trophy for it as well. I really
Right.
wanted to do that also. Um, that's what I liked about this game is that you know you could be two different type of gamer. You can just go through it, just do the story, and just guns blazing, or you can for the people like me that want to like explore and like look at the details, you can do that as well. So that's the good positive about it. But the game is going to be long.
Yeah.
Would you say, Wolf? I think even if you go fast, it's going to still take you 25 hours or something like that.
No, if you go if you go fast like I did and still explored, technically I think it would probably been like 18 at least, for the least.
Oh, 18. Okay. And you could stretch. I heard you could stretch it out as much as 40 something.
Well, I think the most you can actually do is like 43.
My gosh.
And I know it took you how long? Like 36 hours, and you still never
36.
really found everything else.
Yeah. So this is a huge game. It's a lot to do, and that's what I like. I like games that really give you a lot to do because one game that I really liked that I'm actually playing right now that it was a good game but it was too short was Resident Evil 3. And not to compare, but that game was extremely short. Like I think I beat that game in like 2 days. But this
Even
game,
though, well, I know this is off topic. Even though you can explore a lot in that game, I think the least you can actually complete it is maybe under 7 hours at the least.
I didn't even feel like it was 7. I felt like that joint was like 5, 6 hours. Man, but quality game. I recommend it to anybody who's a gamer. You're gonna love this game. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played in my life. I definitely can't wait to jump back into that plus. I'm actually thinking about streaming the plus mode as well. We'll see how things go. But yeah, it's really all I have to say about it. What about you, Wolf? Any closing thoughts?
Well, two of them actually. I know that some people were saying they actually like had good accessibility to the game where you can pretty much slow down when you're in aim mode and pretty much set it up to where you can actually find like every single item around that entire area.
Mm.
You remember I had showed you how you could do it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and plus you showed me how they slow down time as well for when they in the aim mode.
Yeah, that's actually. Oh, I forgot to tell you. That mode, I'm going to. I didn't do it on my first playthrough. I saw it and I was tempted, but I said, you know what? No, I really want to beat the game the default way, kind of get that experience. Now, for the plus mode, I'm definitely going to be doing the slow mo because that's going to be badass, and I'm really excited to try it. So, I'm definitely want to jump into that plus. And like I said, I might not stream the entire game because it is long, but I'll probably do some nice clippy clips for sure. Because I got some crazy kills in my when I played before. Like, whew, I wish I clipped it.
Alright,
But
now that I think about it, alright, this will probably be the end of it right here. Do you think they'll make a part 3?
um, if they do, I think they will stop talking about. It will stop being about Ellie. I think maybe Ellie might show up, but I think they may focus on other characters.
Right, so kind of maybe like from Abby's point perspective, pretty much.
Maybe Abby. Maybe they may even go back and do like they can do anybody. They can do Owen. They can do You know, what's
I
that?
mean,
What's that one guy?
I don't think they're gonna really do dead characters. I think they're more likely gonna do like the people that either like
Survived.
yeah, like Abby or Lev, maybe uh Dina.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You think they won't go? They won't make it a prequel and go back?
They may, but it really all depends on what they're gonna try and do.
Hmm. But in all honesty, they can. It's so much they can do with the characters. It's so many directions they can go. Um, you just have to wait and see. I know we all gonna be old, but if they when they come out with the third game, because this game took forever.
Yeah, it took how
So
many years? Like 2 or 3 years.
yeah, so it's gonna be a hot minute. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You definitely buy the game. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'd say we pretty much talked about everything: the characters, the enemies, the gameplay, the story mode, and the accessibility, the opinions of what we think about the game, and that's pretty much all we did.
Hmm. I would say so.
Alright, guys, we're gonna end it right here. If y'all enjoyed the review, leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure to go check out Oruffryder's channel as well. He should be starting to stream back and well, get back into the streaming industry himself at some points.
Yeah, probably start doing some game, Last of Us 2 plus mode and maybe a little crash here and there.
Yep. I may try and do a little bit of. I may try and go back to God of War, but I'm not entirely sure on that.
Oh, I forgot about that game. That boy.
Alright, guys, like I done. Yes, boy. Alright, like I done said before, guys, if y'all enjoyed the review, leave a like, leave a comment, and I hope y'all subscribe to the channels. I'll be seeing everyone in the next video.